Folks, welcome into another edition of the Roundtable right here at sportsbookreview.com. The NFL draft is on deck, and I got an esteemed panel here designed to win you some money with some key prop bets here during the draft. Let's bring in our panel today, Gary Seegers, Jeff Nadeau, and Teddy Safransky. Let me start with you first here, Gary. We've all been looking a couple weeks here, grinding, looking at some of these odds. They've been changing each and every time, but there's still a lot of props out there that are a lot of fun to bet and certainly make some money on. Gary, what are you looking at here in round one of the draft that possibly can make us some money here?
Obviously, this draft completely unprecedented. We have no idea what's going to happen. It's totally unpredictable. And in a spot like that, you can make some plus money on this, right? I've got two props that I really like that are plus odds that I think are going to hit here, and I feel really good about it. The first one, first running back drafted, Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. It is plus 230. Everybody seems to think DeAndre Swift is going to be the guy. If you dive into the numbers at Georgia, he was not good against really good defenses. You're going to run into a lot of those in the NFL. I don't foresee him being the first running back picked. I think Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in this draft. At plus 230, bet $10 to win back 23. Yeah, I'll take those odds any day of the week. The next one, will A.J. Epinesa, the defensive end out of Iowa, be drafted in the first round? No, is plus 125 right now. I'm all over that. He did not have a very good combine. Yes, he's great on film. Everything looks good. And I think he will be a value pick for somebody in the second round. But I think that's where he ends up going, is in the second round. If you can get him at plus 125 or any plus number to not be a first-round pick, I'll take that all day.
There we go. Some draft picks coming through already. Jeff, I'm going to bring you into this conversation. I know you've been doing a lot of work putting out mock drafts. It's like Christmas Eve for us here, getting ready to go, and certainly can win some money. Jeff, what are we looking at here that we can pick through and maybe make some money here on the draft?
Yeah, Donnie, we see these kids make these moves. They might be a second-round pick. They start to get a lot of love 2 or 3 weeks before the draft, and all of a sudden they're in the first round. One of those guys, Trevon Diggs out of Alabama, brother Stephon Diggs, we all know his abilities. Look, I think this kid's a first-round pick. I have him around 20. He's a great press coverage corner. And, Donnie, I think the great thing about the NFL is you have a lot more help over the top from the safety, which you don't get as much of in college. He's got great size. He's really elite athletically, obviously being a corner. But you look at his past as a receiver, he converted to becoming a corner. I think he could play safety in the NFL down the road. I think he just has an elite skill set that I think a lot of teams are going to look for. Is he a bona fide starter right away in the NFL? Probably. I think he could help, though, a team like a Chiefs, where maybe he doesn't have to come in and play right away in year one. I think he's a first-round pick. There's a lot of guys out there in this draft. I don't know if corner's one of the deeper things, especially early on, but I think he's a first-round pick. Real quick, one to take a shot on, 10-1. Donnie, I have ridden in the boat at the top of the ship for T. Higgins. I don't understand why teams don't like T. Higgins. I don't understand why the public doesn't like T. Higgins. I think he has a prototypical body for the NFL. I think he's a prototypical receiver for the NFL. I don't understand the hate on the kid. First receiver taken out of these four: Jefferson, Ayuk, Mims, Higgins. 10-1. I'll take a shot on T. Higgins to be the first one out of those four to be drafted.
Wide receiver, big talk here in Philadelphia. Teddy, let me bring you in here. Look, there's only so much Belarusian soccer, if that's even a word I can use, table tennis that we can have. We're now sinking our teeth into the NFL draft. Bankrolls are ready to go. Offshore books, inshore books, inland books. We're all ready to go for this draft, Teddy. Give us something to chew on here that we can take a look and maybe make some money on some of these prop bets here in the draft.
Well, let me start with a quote from Jeff Davis, one of the sportsbook directors over at Caesars, the junkyard dog they call him. He's a good follow on Twitter. His quote: "There is no public action currently, given the state of the pandemic. Every single dollar that is bet on the NFL draft is sharp." I could go on forever. So let's talk about wide receivers. All right. And I know you like T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins has a chance, Jeff, to be a stud in the NFL. But we're looking at Higgins, who started to be drafted in the first round at minus 650. Yes. And now that's plus 125. I'm not stepping in front of that. My thought process, again, is look at some of this plus money. And with wide receivers in particular, it stands out to me in this draft. Everyone loves the top tier receiving talent. Everyone's talking about how this is the deepest wide receiver draft in recent memory. All right. You can get under 6.5 receivers in the first round. You have to lay juice with that. You can get under 5.5 receivers in the first round, and that's a nice plus price. I wouldn't argue with taking both of those, especially with all the sharp money coming against Higgins, and especially with the fact that the receiving core is so deep in this draft. I think we'll see teams draft a little bit more for need in the first round because they know the wide receiver depth will be there later. I like receivers under. I don't think Higgins goes in round number 1.
There we go. Some interesting stuff. You're hitting on wide receivers, cornerbacks, and running backs. Now, here's the part of the draft I like because, we're handicappers. Sometimes we have to think out of the box, and there's a lot of interesting prop bets here in the draft, particularly for round 1 coming up. I'm going to lead with this one, a crazy prop to make some money on. This comes from personal experience, and that's going to be with Bet Online showing a over-under of 1 cat showing during the broadcast of round 1. That means each player gets drafted if they have the camera in home. If you see a cat, you count it as 1 cat. If you see 2 cats, that's 2 cats and a winner. I'm going the under from personal experience here. I have a cat that likes to hang in the basement. Every once in a while, you guys have seen all the videos I do. The cat every once in a while pops in, but the cat only likes me. The cat doesn't like the extra 5 or 6 people or under 10 in the quarantine that will be over. The cats are going to hide. Give me the under 1 cat here to cash this one. Gary, let's go to you. Give me an off-the-wall prop bet that, you know what? I might be able to cash this thing.
This is a lot of juice, but I think it is a guaranteed winner here. Number of draftees seen in a tie. It is 20.5. I'm going under. It's minus 300 over at Bet Online right now. I think it's a guarantee. If you go back and look at former drafts, and I've watched the draft every year for 20 years at least, you never see a guy on a video conference in a tie. So they're saying the number is 20.5. I think we would be lucky to get to 10. So 20.5 is ridiculous. It's minus 300. Easy winner on this one. I think there's no way. You might see some sport coats. You might see some, nice clothes, golf shirts, etc. You're not going to see a bunch of ties.
I got to tell you, Gary, if you do that prop bet in my lifetime under 20.5 for myself, I would take the under and win that one of the times I've ever been in a tie. Jeff, let's get to you right here. Off the wall prop bets, they're always fun, but you could still make some money on some of these. Give me one that you might be looking at here.
Your cat prop is interesting. I've said before, I think cats are snakes with fur. They're some of the weirdest animals you'll find. They don't grab any affection. They're not loyal. They run away. They're everything wrong with humans in their animal version. So yeah, I hate cats. I hope we don't see any personally. Donnie, who will the number 1 pick hug first?
That's a good one.
I love the dad selection here, plus 300. Obviously, Joe Burrow's mom and dad are going to be left and right to him. I'm not going to say that Joe Burrow likes his dad more than his mom. I just think his history with his dad is a little bit more pronounced. I'm really coin flipping here, as Teddy covers, I'm sure will point out. But again, I'll take a 3-1 spot on that. It's really going to be about who Joe Burrow immediately thinks of. I just, for some reason, think his dad. His dad has been pronounced in his life, maybe slightly more than his mom. I'm really grasping for straws here, but I'm willing to take a shot on 3-1 being his dad directly to the left or right.
Now, Jeff, I might need some clarification on this because some people steal hugs. And what I mean is Joe might have the phone up to his ear. What happens if mom reaches in and hugs Joe Burrow? Is that going to be counting as that's who he hugs first? Or is that stealing a hug here, Jeff?
Well, I read the little rule here next to it. It must be held on April 23rd, obviously, and it must be seen clear. I guess the manager will decide. So our boy Dave Mason, I guess, will have to decide whether that's a winner or not. I don't know if he actually does that or what he does. But, yeah, I'm going to just – I don't know. I'm taking a shot here, Donnie. I'm trying to get grasp for something here.
Teddy, we've had a lot of downtime here, so obviously researching even off-the-wall prop bets can be profitable. You have any that we might be able to look at here for the draft, Teddy?
Yeah, but I love Jeff's comment where you're anytime you get a coin flip, they're giving you 3-1. Yeah, heck yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sure. All that said, this is one I just found. This you said we had weeks and weeks. This is what I just saw this morning, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. We got to talk about this one. This is from BetMGM. How many players will cry during the first round? Over under 2.5. All right. And I'm going over 2.5. All right. And I'm not sure how they're going to grade, But if we get one of these as being a cry, it's a given. But I wouldn't be surprised to see these guys blubber. And when you think about the fact we've all been kind of stuck inside for a month, emotions are a little bit higher than they would be. I think that's going to result in, I legitimately think that's going to result in more crying. I like the over 2.5 players to cry in the first round, minus 160.
I like where Teddy's going on this, especially if they bring in Tom Rinaldi to do the interviews here. That's going to go way over the total. So some off-the-wall stuff you can make some money on. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, real quick, I want to just throw one other thing out there. We all have brought up funny props here. One other one. If you know anything about Trey Wingo, who he always says some sort of random fact about these kids. Who do we love more than our mother? Maybe in Joe Burrow's case, maybe his dad a little bit more, but most of us love our mother probably more than anybody. Jeff Okuda, his mother speaks Swahili. There is a prop on will ESPN mention Swahili when talking about Jeff Okuda. I think he also wrote in the Players Tribune about it. Jeff Okuda did. I think it's something that has to be mentioned. People love people that speak languages, especially ones like Swahili or Croatian or something interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and say they mention it, minus 115. I think it's a great fact we have to know about Jeff Okuda.
Prop bets that we love and can make money on only right here at sportsbookreview.com. I want to thank my esteemed panel, Gary Seegers, Jeff Nadeau, and Teddy Savransky. The draft is right on deck for everything draft and more. Always check out sportsbookreview.com.